str. So why is that a mistake? So say, for example, your I is 5, okay, and your N is 13. Now your desired input, which is the input you want, is this. I plus 1 is 6, okay, and then 6 times N minus 5, which is 8. So you want that. Oh, sorry, my mistake, output. So the output you want is, so 5 plus 1 is 6 times 13 minus 5 is 8. So the output you want is 5, 8 times. Why? Because this is the output you want. 5 plus 1 times 13 minus 5, which this part gives you 8 and this part gives you 6. Oh, sorry, another mistake. My bad, guys. I'm a bit sloppy today. I do apologize. Anyway, here we go. So this is the output you want, okay? You want to concatenate this, what's inside this bracket, this many times, okay? But if you don't put any string, if you don't identify what's a string and what's an integer, the Python will just automatically resorts to the default, which is a mathematical calculation. So what ends up happening is you get this. You get 6 times 8. And this, so instead of giving you 6, 8 times, it's going to give you 48, because 6 times 8 equals 48, okay? So hold on, output you get. Okay, here we go. So by not identifying what's the string and what's the integer, you end up making this mistake. Instead of getting this, you're going to get something like this, okay? So how do we get this desired output? Well, it's simple. You want to have 6 concatenated 8 times. So what exactly are you concatenating? This bracket. The value inside this bracket is the one you're trying to concatenate. By the way, guys, can somebody just tell me if they can see like my highlights? That would be really useful.
Yeah, we can see your highlights.
All right, thanks. Okay, so yeah, basically, what's inside this bracket is the value you want to concatenate. So the value you want to concatenate, you've got to identify it as a string. And this one, you might say, okay, why don't this one you want, this is the value that you're concatenating by, why don't you identify it as an integer? Well, Python whenever there's numbers involved, okay? Whenever there is numbers involved, Python will automatically think it's an integer. So this is a very important fact. Whenever numbers are involved, Python automatically sets it as an integer. Okay, so in this case, numbers are involved, Python will automatically set it as an integer, so you don't really need to put int here. Okay, but for string, okay, Python does not know that you want these numbers as a string, so you've got to set it yourself. Now you can now, if you want to concatenate this, for example, the 13 minus 5, you put str here, okay? So now you're concatenating this value right here, this value, which is 8, this many times. So if you put the str here, okay, it's going to concatenate the value 8 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? Because this is 8 and it's set a string, which is the value you want to concatenate. And this is this is how many times you're concatenating it. Okay. So you're concatenating it 6 times. So you got to remember, okay, you've got to remember this very important fact because some people might make this mistake. The value you are concatenating, set it as string. And the value you are, hold on. The value you are concatenating, you set it as string. And how many, okay, and how many times you are concatenating, set it as integer, okay? Now again, okay, here's another thing, okay? This might not come up often, but it might come up, is that how many times you are concatenating, you can't have it as float, you can't have it as decimal, because you can't concatenate 8, for example, 7.2 times. It's impossible. You can't have 0.2 of a concatenation, okay? So integer, okay? So it must be set as an integer. So for example, when you have some weird thing like 24.2 plus 3.1 like this is completely invalid, okay? You cannot concatenate with decimals. That's another very important thing, okay? Because your variables, you know, you might get decimals. So in cases like this, then it is mandatory, okay, mandatory for you to put int, okay, absolutely mandatory, because you cannot concatenate with a float. So the value you are concatenating, okay, which is in this case the 8, set it as a string, and how many times you are concatenating, set it as integer, okay? Just remember these two facts, okay? These two facts, if you remember these two facts, you won't make these common mistakes. Anyway, now that we've got the multiplying concatenation out of the way, I'm sure you guys know how to concatenate with the plus sign. Okay, I'm sure you guys know how to do this. I think this is simple enough for you. So I don't really think I need to go through this. Anybody wants me to go through this? Because I think you're all good, right? You know what? What I will do is I need a spokesman to speak for the entire class, because I get it. Some of you might be afraid to speak over each other. So for the spokesman, I will have Rafi. Okay, so Rafi, you are in charge of representing the entire class. So Rafi, do I need to go through this type of concatenation, or were you all good?
I understand it. I don't think you have to go through it again.
All right. Okay, good. So now we've got the multiplying concatenation. Okay, the multiplying concatenation, which is something like this. Oh, sorry. You know what? Car. There we go. And we've got the addition concatenation. Okay, so those two are covered, and those two are the concatenations that you need to know right now. Okay, so concatenation out of the way. Next order of business is the substring. Now, I think you guys know the basics of the substring. You know, so by default, a substring is like this, right? Okay, like the start and then the end. So for example, if you have, oh, I'm addicted to cars. Let me think something else. Okay, I'm also addicted to phones. Let's have something different. Volcano. All right, volcano. So, you know, so something like this. Okay, remember guys, a substring starts from 0, not 1. So this 1 refers to the O, the second letter, not the first. So 0 and 1 is O, and remember, for the n, okay, it's actually n minus 1. So it goes from 1 to 3, not 1 to 4, because it stops at 4. It stops at 4. Remember, very important for the ending, okay, you can think of it as n minus 1. Okay, you can think of it as n minus 1 because the n value, it stops there. It doesn't take it into account. So the second value L, third value C, and then the fourth value is not counted because that's where it stops. So you get all C, okay? So that's the basic of the substring. Now let's make this a bit more complicated, and actually it's not that complicated, and add a new thing, because actually substring doesn't have two values. It actually has 3. The third one is called the step value. Now, what is the step value? Now, beforehand, you didn't put any step value, and so if you didn't put any step value, okay, so if no step value is set, then Python automatically sets it to 1. Okay, this is another important fact that you need to remember. Actually, for example, in string, you can actually just do this. You can actually not put anything, okay? You can literally just do that and it will give out volcano. Because for the first value, okay, if you don't put anything on it, okay, if you don't put anything in it, it will automatically be set to the start of the string. For the second value, if you do not put anything in it, okay, it will automatically be set to the end. So the end of the string, okay? And for the third one, okay, for the third one, if you don't put anything, which so far, most of us haven't actually put any third value for the substring, then it will then the value will automatically be 1. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? So let's go back to that example again, the 1, 2, 4. Okay, so what does this mean? So when step equal to 1 actually means you're going from the start to the end of the letter by 1 letter each. So it goes from V to O to L to C to A to N to O. Okay, it goes up by 1 letter each. Okay, simple. So if you don't set it as anything, it will automatically be set to 1. And it is set to 1 because usually the default is you go up by 1 letter each. Now, what happens if you don't set it to the default and you put something, say 2? Okay, so let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, 2. Now the step is now 2. Now, what does this mean? It means that you're going up, instead of by 1 letter, you're going up by 2 letters. So instead of going from V to O, you go from V to L to A to O. Okay. Okay. So what does this mean? So what will we get? We'll start at 1. Okay. The start doesn't change. We'll start at 1, and so we're gonna get O. But instead of getting L, okay, since the step is 2, you're going up 2 words each. You're going to C. You're going to get C. So O, C, okay? And then you don't get A, you get N, because once again, you're moving by 2 words each. So instead you go N, and this is what you get, okay? So the start, the end, and the step. All right, so now some of you might have come across this. Hold on, let me just put this in a variable so it's correct. Okay, so some of you might have come across this. Oops, okay, here we go. And this will give you ONACLOV. Okay, so this is basically volcano backwards. So some of you might come across this, okay? And what this basically does is it gets the string and reverses it. How does it reverse it? Well, again, for the first value, you don't put anything, okay? So it automatically defaults to the start. Second value, you don't put anything, so it automatically defaults to n, okay? So it's from start, so it's start to n, okay? That's what the substring encompasses. That's what the substring covers. It covers the start to the end of the string. So it covers all the string. Okay. So if you put something like this with none of that, you'll get volcano, okay? Because it covers all the string. But since we added the third one, which is -1, okay, we specified the step. This is a reverse. Why? Because this time, instead of going up by one word, you're going back by one word, okay? So if you put 1, you're going forward by one word. You put minus, you're going back by one word. So basically, since you're going back, it's going to start from the end, okay, because you're going back. So it's going to take 0, sorry, not 0, O, and then N, and then, oh yeah, O, and then N, and then A, and then C, and then L, and then O, and then V, okay? So, because now it's going backwards, it's stepping backwards, okay? And if you do something like this, okay, now this is again, same concept as last time, but instead of going forward by 2 words, you're going back by 2 words. So again, listen, the start never changes, okay? No matter what you put here, the start never changes. So it starts off with O, okay? And now it doesn't take N, because this time you're going back by 2 words. So rather than N, it takes A, and then doesn't take C, remember, goes back by 2 words, it takes L. And then finally it takes V. So this is the output of that. So anybody have any questions about this, or is this clear? Yeah.
Volcano. What is the backwards of volcano?
What? Your mic's a bit unclear.
What is the backwards of volcano?
The backwards of volcano, it's ONACLOV. Yeah, like I did before.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, so if you guys understood everything and have no questions, then it's time for you to set it into practice. So I'm gonna have a couple questions here. You know what? I'm going to start off simple. I need to make you guys familiar with it. So I want to have quite a long string. So the string will be you know what? I don't think this is right. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, just one thing to mention here, guys, is that in a string, okay, the spaces are considered characters, okay? So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3. So you get what I mean? So I is 0, and then the space is 1, and then this L is 2, and then so on and so forth. So the space is a character. So basically this string, what I want you to do is reverse it, get every second letter, get every fifth. No, you know what? Character. Character is the more correct word because you're also including spaces here. Okay, so guys, what I want you to do is that you take this string, okay? I want you to reverse it. I want you to get every second character. I want you to get every fifth character. And I want you to get every third character, but from the back side, from the reverse, okay? So go ahead and use your substrings to create. So I want you guys to create 4 different substrings, one with the reverse, one with every second character, one with every fifth character, and one with every third character, but from the back. So you can go ahead and do that now.
I think I have a question.
What is your question?
What is the get every second character?
Get every second character is basically like you get I, okay? And remember, characters are spaces, okay? You've got to remember that. Characters are spaces. So instead of getting the space, you get L. Okay, so let me show you. So I, and then you get L, and then you don't get I because you get every second character. So basically you're jumping by 2 characters. So instead of I, you get K, and then instead of E, you get a space, and then instead of B, you get a U, and then
Oh, I get.
you get it. So you're jumping by two characters.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Afif, I have finished.
All right, Hasna, just I don't want you to share the answers to everyone so everyone can see. So just keep them. Okay, just keep them with you. We'll go through it at the end once everybody's done.
Rafif,
Yeah.
I just came back from the bathroom. What are we supposed to do?
It's in the whiteboard. I want you to take this string, okay, and I want you to reverse it. I want
Okay.
you to get every second character, which basically means like you jump by 2 characters, get every fifth character, so you jump by 5 characters each time, and get every third character, so you jump by 3 characters, but from the back. So from here, from G.
Okay. And a character is a letter or like
I used the word character instead of letter because spaces is included as a character.
okay.
Substrate.
All right.
Kenzi dan Hasna, kalian datangnya agak telat tadi, tapi sempet nggak dengerin penjelasan tentang substring ini?
Yes.
Oke, bagus. Kenzi, sempat dengar tadi penjelasannya?
Sempat dengar, Kak.
Oke, bagus. Jadi kalian tahu mau buat apa kan?
Iya.
Oke, mantap, bagus.
If I finished.
All right. I'm just going to give everyone 2 minutes more to make sure everyone is finished, and then we'll look at it at the end together. Okay, I think everybody is done. Hopefully everybody is done. So anyway, let's take a model answer, shall we? Rehan, can you please share your screen and show us your solutions to these 4 questions?
All right. You disabled participant
Oh yeah.
screen
All right.
sharing.
Hold on. All right, I've made everybody co-host, so you should be able to share your screen.
All right. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, here it is.
Okay, so this one, it's in reverse, good. This one, you're getting every second letter, good. This one, you're getting every fifth. This one, you're getting every third back. Okay, great. So everyone, this is exactly how you should solve those 4 questions. So did anybody get something different, or did anybody not know how to do it? If so, please tell me. It's fine. We're not here to shame anybody. So did everybody get this, or did somebody get something different?
I got the exact same.
All right, good. So if everybody got the exact same as Rehan, well, we can move on to a more difficult, a more complex questions then. All right, so let's get back to our little whiteboard here. All right, just hang on a sec. Okay, so here we go. First question. Question 1. Here we go. Now don't worry, I'll explain this question. Okay. So given 2 strings, S1 and S2, return a new string made of the first, middle, and last characters of each input string. So what do I mean by this? So say S1 is America and S2 is Japan. Okay, so you want your program to allow you to input 2 strings, okay, string 1 and string 2. So say that your inputs are America and Japan. You're going to get AJRPAN. Now, why is this the case? Well, because you want to return a new string made of the first, okay, so the first character of string 1 is A, and the second character of string 2, the first character of string 2 is J. So the first bit would be the first characters of each string. The second bit, okay, would be the middle characters of the 2 strings. So the middle character of America is R, and the middle character of Japan is P. So it's RP. That's the second bit. And the last bit would be the last characters of each string. So S1, the last character is A, and S2, the last character is N. So you get AN. So it starts with the first character of each string, and then the middle character of each string, and then the last character of each string. So this is the example. So your program should allow you to input 2 string and return a new string with the first, middle, and last characters of each input string. So if any of you don't really understand the question, feel free to ask, but if you do, then crack on and finish this question.
Nick, can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what, Azam? If this question is a bit too difficult for you, don't worry. I'll give you another substring question which you can do.
I need to go to the bathroom. So can I go?
Okay, Azam, if question 1B is too difficult, just go ahead and try to do question 1A. And in question 1A, one thing that you need to do is you gotta get a half point, and to get the half point, you just do this. Okay, that's how you get the half point. So if 1B is too difficult, just do question 1A.
Rafif, I finished.
Okay. So Hasna, if you finish, you might have noticed I'm going in for a bit of a new format here where I would rather have most people done with the question before the answer is shown, and so we can talk about it together. So just keep your answer, okay? Just save it and keep your answer. Well, we'll look through it later on, and you can go ahead and do question 2, which will be coming shortly. And this applies to all of you who finished question 1B. Don't go to question 1A, okay? Go straight ahead to question 2 and save your answer for question 1B because we will go through it. All right, for question 2, for those of you who are done with question 1, I want you to find all occurrences of USA in a given string, ignoring the case. So say, for example, your string is, okay, so the program must allow you to input one string and say the string that is inputted is, I hate the USA. There is too much guns all around the streets of USA. However, the USA has a lot of cool places to visit. So overall, I have mixed feelings about the USA. Now again, before anybody says anything, these are not my opinion, okay? I was just spitballing here, okay? These are not my political opinions or anything. I was just spitballing. So don't take this to heart. The purpose of this is to show an example. So here, there's 1 USA, 2 USA, 3 USA, 4 USA. So the output, okay, should be 4. Now, what I mean by ignoring the case is that, say for example, instead of capital, it's just lowercase. This would still be counted. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. It would still be counted. So there would still be 4 occurrences of the word USA in a given string. Okay, guys. I just want to know how many have completed question 1B. If you have completed question 1B, please type in the chat complete. I would just like to gauge how many of you have completed 1B. So if you could do that, that would be great. Okay, Rafi's completed, Hasna's completed. Anybody else? So Adam, Rehan, have you completed 1B?
No, not yet.
All
Oh, not
right.
yet.
All right. So we'll wait for you guys. And those of you who have completed 1B, well done. You can move to question 2.
Afif, for question 2, do we do the same, like, so the string is I hate the USA, there's too much guns and stuff, and then we have to find the amount of USAs there are in the string?
Yeah. Yeah,
Ah,
but
okay.
for the string, it's like it depends on what you input.
Oh, so it's not always, so the string
Yeah, so
isn't I
it's
hate the
different.
USA and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Ah,
yeah.
okay.
So you literally for what do you call it, for checking if your program works, you could literally just do this. Okay, and then this should output 4. Okay, you don't
Oh,
have
okay.
to create this little
Ah, yeah,
soliloquy
yeah,
that I
yeah.
did.
Okay.
You could literally just do this for your input.
Yeah, all right.
Making and marking tasks. Anyway. Yay. One of these. I was not satisfied about it. Oh, that's actually brilliant. Okay, so if anybody else has finished question 1B, please type in complete in the chat. Okay, so no one else has completed 1B. All right, so that means I think I can presume that a lot of you guys are struggling with it, and that's okay. So here's a little advice or a little tidbit I'll give you to help solve question 1B. So basically, question 1B wants you to output a string which has 3 parts. So your final print statement should have something like this. First, which means the first letters, middle, plus last. Okay. So anybody struggling with question 1B should pay attention to this. So basically your final print statement should be first plus middle plus last. So the first letters concatenated with the middle letters, concatenated with the last letters. Now again, this is not the only way to solve it. This is just a way to solve it. And so what you need to do now is derive how to get the first letter of each string into this variable, how to get the middle letters of each string into this variable, and how to get the last letters of each string into this variable. And the answer to that is quite simple. You just need to use substrings, to extract the first letters, the middle letters, and the last letters. Okay, I am asking once again, if anybody has finished question 1B, please write complete in the chat. All right, that's okay. You know what? Let's all look at question 1B together as a class. So, all right, let's take a model answer and okay, okay, I have two options here. Hasna, can you share your screen and show your answer to question 1B?
Okay.
Okay. All right. This looks good. I think you managed to get the first letters, the middle letters, and the last letters. Okay. But my issue is this is I want it to be one string. So your first letter, middle letters, and last letters, I want you to combine it as one string. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. Just look at my example here. Okay, look, the first letter A and J, one string, A and J there, and then the middle letters R and P there, and then the last letters A and N. So you get one string. Okay. This is why I told you your final print should have something like this, where you have the first letter concatenated with the middle letters, concatenated with the last letters as one. So again, I'll give you 5 minutes, 5 minutes or so to fix that. It should be an easy fix. And the rest of you, you also get an extra 5 minutes to try and complete as much as you can from question 1B.
Rafif, I did mine mine's a bit different than Hasna's, but it still works. It's fine, right? Is that fine? You're muted if you're not talking.
Yeah, that's completely fine. There's always
Okay.
an infinite number of ways you can solve a problem. Sorry, what I was saying is there's always an infinite number of ways you can solve a programming problem.
Oh yeah, okay.
I finished. I finished fixing it.
Sorry, who was that?
I finished fixing it.
Oh, so you finished fixing 1B?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to look at 1B together in around 3 minutes or so. So you just keep working on 2. Okay, so final check before we look at question 1B. Has anybody else completed the question? If you do, please type complete. Nope. Okay, that's fine. We'll look at it together. So this time, Rafi, can you share your screen? We'll look at your answer.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and everybody everybody in this lesson, please stop what you're doing and look at the screen in front of you. Look at the Zoom meeting. Okay,
Okay.
so let's see here.
Okay, so this is the code. And then if I just write my string, it gives the first letters, the middle letters, and then the last letters, the end.
Okay, so we can see from the outputs that it is correct. So let's look at the code. So you've inputted two strings, length. Okay. So basically, what Rafi has done here, okay, he's allowed you to input two strings. Okay, you guys should be able to do that. You guys should know how to input strings. And he took the length, okay, and put them in the variable G and F. Okay, and then he took the half points of both strings, okay, using the method. And remember, you've got to use double slashes, so he's got that correct. So he takes the half point, right? And now this is the meaty bit, okay? This is where probably most of you are stuck in. So again, so the first thing, we got to get the first letter of America and the first letter of string 1, in this case, it's X, and the first letter of Y. Now, Rafi, one thing I would advise, you actually don't need to put this 1 because you're only getting one letter. So
Oh,
just
yeah,
put
okay.
0, it would have sufficed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you can go ahead and make that modification. Okay, so basically, he's taken the first letter of X and the first letter of Y and concatenated them. So right now it's AJ. First letter of A, first letter of X and first letter of Y is A and J respectively. He's concatenated them, so he's got AJ. Now the next bit, it's the middle letters. Okay, so basically he's calculated the half point of X and Y, and he's just put that in his substring. And remember, since you're only taking one letter or one character, you don't need to put a colon or anything else. Okay, you just need to put a value there. So he's put the half, okay, which corresponds to the middle string, okay, which directs you to the middle string. And so the middle string of X would be R, and the middle string of of Y would be P. And so he's got RP. He's concatenated them together. All right. So the final one, okay, is the last letters, okay? And, Rafi did this in a different way. Another way you could have done it is that you could have put length of X inside the substring. No, but Rafi, what you've done is correct. It's good. You don't need to change it. And for Y, you could have done length of Y, because, if you take the length, it will get the final letter of the substring. What Rafi has done here is that he's done -1. And -1, I didn't explain this to you, but so anyway, I didn't explain this to you, but basically, it's when you're doing minus, you're going from the back. Remember, whenever you put minus, you're always going from the back. So if you do -1, you're going to take the first letter from the back. If you do -2, you're going to take the 2 letters from the back. -3, you're going to take 3 letters from the back. And so in this case, it's -1, which means he's going to take 1 letter from the back. So he's going to take the last letter of X and the last letter of Y, and he's going to concatenate them together. So for those of you that could not finish 1B, do you have any questions, anything you don't understand in Rafi's code, or is it all clear? So Rehan, Adam, all clear?
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, so Rafi, you can unshare your screen now. All right, so you said your solution was different to Hasna's. So let's see Hasna's solution. So Hasna, can you please share your screen? I want to show you that there are different ways you could solve this. Okay, so, okay, that's question 2. Here we go. All right, so here we go. Again, input statements. You guys should be able to do that. Half points, you guys should know how to do that. And the first, okay, so she needs to take the first letters of each string. Again, you just put 0 because 0 corresponds to the first letter of the string. And middle, okay, you just put the half point there to get the middle strings. And last, you just put -1 because you're taking it from the back. And then you combine the first, the middle, and the last. So basically, the only difference between Hasna's and Rafi's work is that Rafi didn't put S1 plus S2 or S1, he didn't put those inside first, middle, last, okay? He instead just concatenated them immediately in the print statement, which is fine, there's no problem. And also this solution is also fine, there's no problem. So the only difference here is that Hasna has put it in variables, or Rafi just directly put it on the print statement. Okay, so that's question 1B done. So I hope, for those of you that could not manage to do question 1B, I hope you now know how to do them, okay? I hope you can learn from them and use that knowledge now for question 2. But unfortunately, guys, time does fly and it's almost 6 o'clock. So this is, it's getting towards the end of the lesson. So any of you, if any of you wants me to see any part of your code, ask now. Just see if you want me to see parts of your 1B or parts of your 2. So anybody wants to see my code? Sorry, anybody wants me to see their code? If not, then I guess you all can leave because this is the end of the lesson. Zaid, you can stay, I'll answer your question. But everybody else, it's 6 o'clock, it's the end of the lesson. It's been a joy teaching you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
All right, so Zaid, to answer your question, hold on. Len basically means length, okay? So say you have a string called volcano, and you do len string. What will this what will this give you? So say you print, okay, length of string. So len is basically just short for length, and so it's the length of the string, which means how many characters are in it. So there's 1 V, 2 O, 3 L, C is 4, A is 5, N is 6, and O is 7. So this will output 7 because the length of the string, which basically just means how many characters there are in it, there's 7 characters, and so the length of the string is 7. Do you get it?
Yes, I do.
All right, great. Okay, so just before you go, say the string is uh so what would be the length of this? So what
8.
will this output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8. So now you understand the concept of length. Unfortunately, oh wait, okay, before you leave, Zaid, well, what happened? Did your internet break or what
Yeah,
happened?
so basically, my dad was using my PC. Yeah, so I couldn't use it.
All right. So basically, Zaid,
Yeah.
what I didn't tell you and I told everyone else is that this lesson was a revision session for concatenation and substring, and so is next lesson. Next lesson will also be a revision of concatenation and substring, and then the lesson after that there will be a test on concatenation and substring. Okay.
Okay.
So you know what concatenations are, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you know substrings, right? Which is like this thing,
Yeah, and then
this thing. Yeah. All right. So so unfortunately you missed this lesson, but don't worry. Next lesson we'll also revise concatenation and substring. All right.
okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Bye bye.